Now, guys, time for our first guest of the day. This week, we're going to be investigating cold water swimming as therapy. So, joining me now to discuss this further is Mike Morris, founder of Chill Therapy, to discuss the benefits of cold water swimming on mental health. Mike, good morning. How are you?
Good morning to you. Very well, thank you.
Good. Thank you so much for joining us. Right. Would you mind telling us how and why you first got into cold water swimming?
So I live in Devon, North Devon, Croyd, and it's sort of quite active down here.
That
So
is.
I moved down from London, and so I gave up work and I decided to start the triathlon, which is now running quite successfully in Croyd, and I also started a swim, and it was called the Exmoor Open Water Swim. And we had lots of people come in from all over the country to go swimming. And there was one batch of ladies that refused to wear wetsuits, and it was cold. So I said, look, I really think you should wear wetsuits. They said no. I got them to sign disclaimers, and they went in. And of course, they didn't have any problem. When they got out, I noticed they were invigorated. They looked great. They were on top of their game. They're all sort of 50 plus in age.
Yeah.
And I spoke to them and I said, why do you do this? And they said, we do it for our mental health. So I thought, wow, that's, certainly a sort of get up and go type person or group of people that can get up and go into cold water. So I thought, wouldn't it be lovely to offer that to people who perhaps don't have so much of the get up and go? So I started Chill in 2020, obviously a very strange time, lockdown, et cetera, and we were
Hmm.
allowed to do it because it was a therapy. And we got a group of people in, and we advertised as Chill swimming for people with anxiety and depression. And we got a lot of people along. We got them in the water, and that was quite interesting to see whether anyone would turn up and whether they go into the water. And it's so
Hmm.
mad. I mean, if you just imagine you right now saying, right, you're going to take off all your kit apart from your swimming trunks and you're
Oh,
going to
damn.
get in the cold water, you'd say, no way. It's mad, mad.
Yeah.
So we didn't know it's going to work. Anyway, these people got in, and um, they loved it. So we obviously realized there was, something about it. And obviously Romans and Greeks and everyone for many, many years know the benefits of cold water.
Mm.
So we thought we would try and quantify it to see exactly, or try and see what's going on. So we did various things, like we believe that inflammation is reduced, and there's stuff in the blood that you can measure the inflammation of your body. And we did it before and after, and we saw, yes, that did reduce. But then we got onto the sort of the actual crux of it, which is the anxiety and depression. And there are two forms called PHQ-9, which are 9 questions for depression, and GAD-7, 7 questions for anxiety. And it basically measures how anxious and how depressed you are.
Hmm.
So we did, in around 2020, this sort of test of people filling out the forms
Pre and
before they
post.
went in.
Yeah.
It's important to know that we're talking about an 8-week course, 1 hour each week. And also, it's important to say that it's with other people, like-minded people. It's a
Mm.
very sociable thing. So they got into the water and they did their 8 weeks. And then we tested them to see what their levels of anxiety and depression, just by asking them the same questions again.
Mhm.
And then we did it again 2 months after. And the results were quite outstanding. And basically, 80% of those people who were depressed were no longer depressed. And the way you measure it is, if it's below 5, it's on a score. So, for instance, GAD-7 is 7 questions.
Yeah.
If you score under 5, you're not depressed. If you score or not anxious, if you score over 5, then you're perceived to be anxious.
Out
Obviously,
of 10, or is it one of those scales like the Borg scale, which is like to 18 or whatever it is?
yeah, it goes up to 21.
Okay. Oh,
If you are 10, you're moderately anxious. Going up to 14, 15, you're getting pretty anxious, and then by 19 or 20, you're obviously off the scale of anxious. And the
yeah.
same with depression. That's 9 questions, so that goes up to 27. But again, below 5, if I was to sort of talk to someone and they weren't particularly depressed or whatever, it could be a good day, it could be a bad day. You might have 5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
So we did this, and almost everyone, and there were exceptions, but on the whole, came below 5, which means that they were no longer depressed. After 2 months, the anxiety and depression raised a bit, but it was still way, way better than it was before. So we're dealing with that, and we thought, well, this is all very exciting, but the NHS and science and whatever would just say, well, perhaps there was something good on television. Perhaps it was Christmas. Perhaps it was a nice weather, so people became less depressed. So the only real way to do this is actually do a controlled experiment.
Yeah.
So we have to have a bag of people randomized, and we just say, right, you're going in to the water and you're not going into the water. So with Dr. Heather Massey from the NHS Sussex Partnership, and she's also actually part of the Portsmouth University Extreme Environment Laboratory.
Nice.
She set up a whole experiment, and there are about 88 people, and this was in 2022. And we grabbed a lot of people and put them and did the same thing, basically. Now, these results, this is in 2022, 2023. It's taken up till now to get these results, and they actually have just been released. They've just been published.
Okay.
Actually, you're the first person I've spoken to about this, so it's quite exciting.
Yeah,
it's a
exciting.
first.
It is. It is a first. It's an exclusive here on FUBAR Radio.
PHQ-9, on average, they were, by the way, they carry on with their treatment. So
Okay.
it might be antidepressants,
Yeah.
counseling, etc. So you carry on with that. So the group that went in to the water went from 11, which is, as we said, moderately depressed.
Out of 27 or 21.
That's out of 27.
Okay.
To 6. And that
Wow.
was PHQ-9, which is the depression.
Yeah.
Okay. That's in black and white. The GAD-7 went from about 8, which is again moderately anxious, to 4, which, as we've said, is below 5, no longer anxious.
Okay.
And that was, and basically 2 months afterwards, we did it again. It was roughly the same, a little bit changed a little bit, but not very much. Now, the control group, no change.
Okay.
So that's proof, black and white. You know, a lot of people talk about cold water, and we can go into the benefits of it and what we think is happening. But this is categorical, black and white proof that if you go in to the water for 8 weeks, for an hour each week, with other people, and that's the interesting thing, you will be way less depressed after 8 weeks.
So reduced stress, reduced depression, reduced anxiety, an hour a week, all at once. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we were doing, this program that I developed with a chap called Dr. Mark Harper.
Yes. Okay.
Who's written a book about it all called Chill. And we developed between him and me, an 8-week course. The reason why we do 8 weeks is because it's 2 cycles of the moon.
Yes. Okay.
So that if I could get, I mean, going back years ago, one of my stepkids refused to do his homework. So we were just told by a psychologist, there's nothing wrong with him. He's just
Put him in the
lazy.
sea.
Put him down. Put him in the same place.
Put him in the sea for an hour. Then he'll do his homework.
So all you have to do to create a habit is put him in the same place, same time, every day for the cycle of the moon, and he will do his homework magically. So that's where I got the idea for this cycle of the moon thing.
Okay.
A habit is formed.
Yeah.
So it failed, by the way, if you wanted to know. He never did. He never did.
He didn't finish school.
Nah. Totally useless. But we had the idea from this that a cycle of the moon is a good thing. So we had 2 cycles of the moon. So basically a habit is sort of formed, and that was the idea. But you're not actually going in the water for an hour, obviously, because it's too damn cold.
Yes.
So you're going. So let's say we're in Devon, and we will meet in the car park.
Okay.
And we will go through something to do with, it's like a course. It's a open sea water swimming course. So we'll go through some theory, be it riptides or currents or stuff like that. Something that's really interesting, or the benefits of cold water.
There's an educational part at the start.
Sorry?
So there's an educational part at the start for people on this course. So for 8 weeks. It's not just an hour in the water, bobbing along, chatting, having a chinwag. There's some structure to it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
start
with the education. Great. Next part.
Yeah. So then you go into the water slowly, and you wash your hands and wash your face and wash the back of your head, which is where the vagus nerve is situated.
Yes.
And the idea is to tell your body that something's coming, which you're probably not going to like.
Really cold.
Really cold.
Yeah.
And then you go into the water. And then if we're in North Devon, there are loads of things you can do. You can learn how to float. You can learn how to duck dive. You can learn how to body surf. You can learn how to swim, etc., etc. So then again, it's hands-on sort of teaching and training, and not just bobbing around whatever. So you're actually engaged. And this engagement, we think, is a good thing because they're learning to be safe, because the whole idea is this costs 100 quid or something. Most of it's funded, but it doesn't cost very much. The whole course is very cheap. But more than that, after they finish the course, they will carry on doing their swimming. So the idea is to make them more safe in an unsafe environment. So you're actually in the water for, at the beginning, literally 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
And that's building up to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But that depends on the temperature, the air temperature, and also the sea temperature.
Okay.
So that's it.
I mean, very, very, very insightful. Lots of information. Now, let's go on to the risks. What are some of the risks from cold water therapy? Because, they might be minor, they might be major. There are risks with most things. But what have you guys found really, or seen?
So if you've got to be, we're doing courses for Macmillan.
Oh, okay.
And they have obviously a cancer diagnosis. So if you've had a cancer diagnosis, you really need to go to your doctor to find out, to get the sign off, because when you're undergoing treatment, you might be more easily able to pick up a virus or get ill. So therefore, you would need to check with your doctor. Likewise, if you've got a heart condition, you would need to sign off to your doctor. So if you've got anything that you think could affect you in the water, as in the cold, then go to your doctor and see whether you can go in. I've been doing this for 5 years now, and we've had people who've got cold.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you're going in cold water. Of course we're going to get cold, right?
Yeah. So I remember we coming up to this time of the year, you only want people to start at this time of the year who regularly go in the water.
Okay.
So you shouldn't really start if it's getting down about now. It's okay, but here we are. We're sitting at probably 13 degrees. That's okay. Positively balmy. That's
Hmm.
going to go down to 7. So let's say by the end of December, you don't really want to start doing this, and then you'd have to wait till next year. Um, so we had one lady who went in and she told us that she'd been in regularly and it was sort of January and she hadn't, and she became very, very cold, and I was concerned, but at no stage did she actually stop shaking. So if you go into cold water,
Yeah.
um, and your temperature is at 37 degrees,
Hmm.
if that goes down to 35 degrees, you've got hypothermia.
Okay.
So this lady, I could have got that far. She was okay. She warmed up. She was fine.
Hmm.
So hypothermia is a very real thing that could happen. So how you do that is, number one, you go in with other people,
Yep.
and um, if you get hypothermia, you start mumbling. You start talking rubbish. You're
Yes.
disorientated. So
Maybe I live
if
with
you're with,
hypothermia.
sorry.
I said maybe I live with hypothermia.
Exactly. Well, that's exactly what I was saying. So you go in with a friend. So if
Yes,
they
of
went in with
course.
you, they know that you're always talking a little bit of rubbish. So therefore, if you start talking more rubbish, they would
Yes.
know how you
Okay.
are. So they're looking at you and they're seeing, are you responding? What's your color like? Are you going really pale, really blue, et
Hmm.
cetera, et cetera, et
Hmm.
cetera.
Okay.
So you've got to watch that. Also, when you get out, you've got to get out before you feel really, really cold, um, because there's such a thing called after drop.
Yes, that was
And
what I was going to ask you. How can you prevent that and stuff? So I'll let you continue.
okay, so after drop is very simply, you're getting cold, and then you get out of the water and you take off your wet stuff and you
Hmm.
put on your changing robe and you put on your woolly hat, you put on everything, and then you have a hot drink, which actually is more psychological than anything, to tell you the truth.
Hmm.
And then you have something like some chocolate, which is really, really good. This is when it's really extreme, when it's really cold.
Hey,
And
balance. We love it.
if you carry out those things, then you will hopefully prevent hypothermia. But also, you get out before you feel really, really bad. So you get out feeling good.
Hmm.
So if you do all that, then the chances of getting hypothermia are sort of minimal. We've never had it,
Okay.
to tell you the truth. So if you do all those things, get out, don't stand there for too long. And certainly when you begin, but a lot of people make the mistake of feeling really, really good and then getting out and then just standing there like
Hmm.
that. No,
Yes.
put your
Okay.
stuff on and get
So,
warm.
so build into it. Your biggest piece of advice would be build into it. Don't try and be a hero. Don't try and do 20 minutes at the start. Start with, you said at the start, I think you said 3, 5, 10, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it's there's no exact science to it,
No, of
because
course,
it
but
will it will
you want to
depend
feel
on your
good.
body weight, and the makeup of your body and what you can suffer and what you can take.
Okay.
So the best thing to do is to get in there for a few minutes. It depends on the time of the year as well. So, but get in there for a few minutes and then gauge it and see how you are. And then if that works really, really well, then you can go up and up and up. But
More.
the second
More.
time you go, you might have a bit of a cold. So just really, really watch it. It might be colder. The air temperature might be colder, etc. So you've got to, gauge it to you and the surrounding.
Okay. Perfect. Right. Mike, we are short on time. So, last question. Any advice for someone wanting to try cold water therapy?
So first of all, we've got proof that it works. You're going to feel better. Always do it with someone else. Always go to where it's safe. Make sure you've done your own little risk assessment to make sure you can get in and get out safely.
Yes.
Make sure you can get out of your clothes and get into warm clothes quickly.
Okay.
And take it in very slow stages.
Yeah. Great advice. Mike, thank you so much for today. Really interesting, really insightful, and obviously mental health is a big thing. Anxiety and mental health is a big thing at the moment. So this has been really insightful. Where can people find you online? Do you have a website, social media, TikTok, Instagram, all of those things? Please let us know.
So we're at www.chilluk.org, and we're on Facebook at Brave the Chill, or you can email me, Mike, at chilluk.org. And there are a whole lot of hubs, chill hubs around the UK.
Amazing. Well, Mike, thank you so much. If I don't speak, have a great Christmas period, and thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Take care. Thanks again. Bye-bye.